So, are you in competition with someone? I know I am. Let's discuss it. Let's discuss how competition can actually be healthy. So, welcome back, or if this is your first time here, welcome to Reawaken Your Light. I am Elise A. Wiggins. And on this channel, we support moms and caregivers who are experiencing burnout, hence to reawaken your light. We're live weekly from Make It Happen Mondays at 11 a.m. here on YouTube. And we're live weekly on LinkedIn for Workplace Wednesdays at 11 to help moms and caregivers who may be experiencing burnout in the workforce. So before we get started with today's video, I definitely would just like to acknowledge one of our partners, Central Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation out of Brownsville. Just grateful because it was with that organization that we started with my book, A Farewell to Welfare, where we made it actually a textbook where it was used in a GED program to teach like literacy. And it's just an amazing feeling to see your work, your body of work, like an idea that you have, not just become a book, like from an idea to a book, but now it's used as a textbook and a guide. And if it had not been for the support I received from CBEDC, Central Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation, that it wasn't even a goal, but that's just definitely something that has been fulfilled. So I have to say thank you. Getting back into who you are in competition with. So in the comment section below, let me know exactly who it is that you feel like you're in competition with, because like I said, I definitely believe that there's some healthy components to competition. So story time. For me, I want to say, when I experience something and I'm kind of down, I always kind of reflect back to, okay, when was the last time that I was actually happy, prosperous, like doing all of the things that I wanted to do? And a time that I thought of was back in 2018. At that time, I had started a non-for-profit organization. I talk about it a lot on this channel, Communities Promoting Reading. We support low-income student parents who are either in GED, ESL, continuing education, career adult training programs, and in college. And back then, I had partnered with the Central Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation, Raymond Flanagan, and the Brooklyn Public Library. And we got together and we all allocated resources to students who were getting their GEDs in Brownsville at the time. And not just that, that was the same year that I did my TED Talk. And I remember buying a car cash and having a car delivered to my driveway. Like in my mind, I'm like, wow, only rich people do this, but I'm doing this. It's happening. And I remember at the time I had a lot of support. I had a lot of friends who I call family who were helping me with my children. I was really surrounded by love. It seemed like I was getting gig after gig for my business. At the time, I was teaching in a jail in the Bronx, in a juvenile jail. And it just seemed like a really prosperous time of my life. So today, when I feel like I'm down, when I feel like I'm bad, I'm in competition with her. I'm in competition with the Elise that I was back in 2018. How can we get back to there? And the reason what made me think about this is because I was watching a Vogue interview with Nicki Minaj, and they asked her something about, what she has to give up and the sacrifices that she made. And she's like, why? They asked her why. And she said, in the end, because I want to know that it was all worth it. And I definitely believe that everything that has happened with me thus far has been all worth it. Good, bad, or indifferent, however you want to call it. But there's some things I wanted to share with you today. If on the Make It Happen Monday, if you're at home, if you're somewhere and you're kind of feeling like you're looking at other people and you're thinking, I should be here, or I should have done this, or there's no time to be in competition with other people. The person you need to be in competition with is your old self. So this is what I mean by healthy competition. So let me give you 4 components. 1, you want to ask yourself, how were you back then? So when you were your ideal, optimal self, that maybe you were exercising, you were reading, you were attending networking events, it wasn't a day that didn't go by that you didn't have your confidence and you didn't have your self-esteem. What was it that got you through that? So for example, with me, I know what I like to do is I like to exercise at least 15 to 20 minutes per day, sometimes 30, depending on the weather or whatever is going on. I like to read certain books. So I have like 5 books that I read a page of each book in different areas, just to help me spiritually, mentally, physically, and sometimes just, a laugh, and a little bit about finance to get my finances in order. And then, I also too, I'm really conscious about who I'm speaking to during the day. So a lot of times, just because my phone is ringing, I don't necessarily answer it, because I think to myself, this person will probably take me off my energy. So back to number 1, to be in competition with your old self, where you're trying to be better than you were before, you need to think about the habits that you had at that time in your life, and what those habits taking you forward or taking you backwards, right? So I just named a few of my habits. Number 2, I want to say one of the worst things you can do, and this is actually a form of self-sabotage, in my opinion, is when you're comparing yourself to people online, when you're comparing yourself to other people's lives, what you heard other people say about them, or what they make their lives look like. I remember, and this was quite a while ago, I think this was when MySpace was a thing. So, okay, I dated myself. But I remember people who would, flaunt these luxurious lifestyles, crabs, lobster, this, cars, this, talking about the money. And I remember one particular person, I just happened to go to their house for something. It was some type of exchange, and these people were sleeping on mattresses on the floor. But mind you, they had every name brand, food, anything that would be admired. And that long ago, it taught me that people only post stuff on social media that they want you to know. And half of the time, what I'm realizing, it's not that it's not true. It's just that people paint this false perception of themselves, I guess, to make themselves feel better. That's why we have filters and all of these things with our faces, because we're ashamed of how our lifestyles really are. And this is what I'm saying to you. If you're scrolling all day, right? It could be 20 minutes go by. You don't even realize you just wasted 20 minutes. And you're like, oh, I like her hair. I like this. I like that. I wish I had this. And you're just taking and pulling from everyone. What you're not realizing is half of that stuff is not true. And then you start to beat yourself up for not being able to live up to an image that's not even real. And especially moms who just recently had a breakup. This is just an additional, I'm throwing this bone in there for you. Do not go on your ex's social media pages. Yes, I'm banging my table. Do not view their social media pages. Don't look at their stories. Don't create fake accounts. The time that you're wasting to search them out, to see what's going on with them, that time, energy, and effort can be put into improving yourself, becoming the you that you say you want to be. Type below if you are focused on becoming the you that you say that you want to be. Number 3. It goes right. I'm grateful, because what I just said is number 3. Focus on the you want to become. So one of the things that I always saw myself as being a very successful businesswoman. So I'm going to be transparent here and say, yes, I'm a good speaker. Yes, I'm a good author. Yes, I'm a good coach. But one of the things that I was never really good at was managing a business, was understanding the numbers and interpreting the numbers in a Shark Tank way, or in a way that made sense, right? I'm becoming a good businesswoman. You know why? Because every day I wake up and I actually manage my business. There was a time where I would outsource everything in terms of the operations and management of the business. But I realized I can no longer do that as a small business owner, because it means that I don't even understand my industry, my numbers. I don't understand how my own business works. So what did I have to do? I had to take my time, attention, and energy and focus off of everyone else. That means that there were times where I couldn't go out. There were times where I couldn't participate in certain social activities or do the things that I used to do, because now I was focused on becoming a better Elise. And a better Elise meant that I had to become better at managing my business. So while they run their mouths, you run your business. This is for my business own mom. So focus on you and the you that you're becoming. And then lastly, I think that this one right here is so important. And I'm actually preaching to myself when I say this. Give yourself some grace. I think I'm the hardest person on me. And a lot of it has to do with my upbringing. Like, I didn't have parents who were like, oh, you got to see, that's okay, you'll try better the next time. I remember getting like 90s. And my mom would be like, you couldn't get 100? Like, you didn't know that one answer or that two answer? And I guess that kind of pegged me as a perfectionist. So now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, this has to be that, or that has to be that. And if this is not right, that's not going to happen. I stopped doing that because what I learned is I was kind of setting myself up for failure. Yes, as long as I did a little bit every day, and every day I got better at whatever I was doing, that was good. And in no means am I saying that you have to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. Only Jesus was perfect. And when we talk about being like Jesus and being Jesus is two totally different things. I will never claim to be perfect. I will never strive for any of my audience or my clients to be perfect. But what I will say is, look at progression. You're better than you were yesterday. You're watching this video, and thank you for watching this video till the end this far. I appreciate that. But back to what I'm saying, give yourself grace. Everything doesn't always have to be done at a certain time right away. I know someone who, I believe they were homeless for about 18 months. And then when they got their apartment, they were like, I got to hurry up and get this. I got to get that. I got to get that. And I'm like, well, you can't just enjoy the fact that you have a roof over your head. You can't enjoy the fact, like, you can't just savor that and allow everything else to happen. Because when we put all of these unrealistic expectations on ourselves, we got to have this. Thanksgiving is coming. I need to have that. The holidays are coming. I got to have money. I got to do that. This is where burnout really comes in. And this is the season, honestly, where I get a lot more clients. And a lot of times it's just people who need to vent. You need to just talk. So maybe that's you. Maybe that's why you're here. So let's just recap really quickly. You're in competition with someone, and the person that you're in competition with is your old self. And what can you do to have like healthy competition? One, think about the habits and the characteristics you had back at the most ideal time in your life. If that means getting back into a routine, or stop associating or start associating with certain people, let's go. Number two, you don't look at other people as a measurement. Stop looking at people on Instagram and TikTok and trying to be like them. Two totally different things. Your competition is within. Your competition is not outside of you. Stop using other people as your measuring sticks for progress. And then number three, focus on the you are becoming. Not the you are now, not who you used to be, but who you say you want to be. Again, I said I wanted to be an ideal businesswoman. And guess what? Life is definitely presenting opportunities for me to become a better businesswoman. And last but not least, give yourself grace. Stop beating yourself up. Stop being your own worst critic. Be nice to yourself, right? And make it happen this Monday. So, couple of things. This weekend, we have our Freedom Friday, and that's a virtual session online for 90 minutes. And I invite you all. You don't have to be a mom or caregiver. If you are someone who's watching this video and you're experiencing burnout and you feel like you just need to be heard, you need to be supported, you need some resources possibly, use the link below in the description to register for that. Also, too, this is the in-person book club and brunch series at the Englewood Library. We host it every third Saturday of the month. It's an intergenerational book club with seniors, young adults from Bergen County High School and middle schools and Bergen Community College. We also have the moms and their children. Myself and the moms get together for the book club discussion for about 90 minutes while their children are in the children's room in the children's library. And they're monitored again by some of the young adults and the seniors. And we just get it all out. Resources. Last month, thank you for the Women's Resource Information Center of Englewood. They came by and they dropped resources, information. A couple of our moms were experiencing some hardships, but grateful that we, created this community, not just to hand out resources, but to also be supportive. Also, too, if you are not the type of person where maybe you want to work in a group or you don't want to be, with other people, you need some one-on-one support, there's a link in the description area for my monthly subscription program. I'm not charging a lot. It's $44 a month. You get to meet with me individually. You get videos. You get the community, you get some resources, and we also work towards a plan. What it is that you want to do for 2024, we start working on it right now. I actually, like I said, I like to work with moms over the holidays because there's so many different external forces, so many things competing for your attention, and a lot of times you forget you. I know I did. So if you're interested in any of these things, if there's a topic that you would like for me to discuss, comment in the description below and let me know. I'm going to be here every week. I'm going to continue going live as long as the Lord allows me to do so. I did want to read an excerpt from my book, but it's a little bit too long. But I'll just end with this and I'll say, there was a time where nothing in my life was going correctly. No matter what I did, it seemed like failure or disappointment was right around the corner. And it reminded me that I understand now why a lot of people don't do what they said that they were going to do. A lot of people don't keep the commitments they make to themselves because a lot of times it's hard and a lot of times it's long. And if it's long and hard, a lot of people don't want to endure it. They're going to give up. But here's my message to you. Keep trying. Keep going. I'm here with you. And as always, don't wait for a leader when you can become one. God bless.